Hey guys, before we get to start for these presentations today, because we have a seminar actually, and later the title is actually we're going to share about what is the impact of the HSR, the high-speed railway, and how we're going to actually react on this so-called sentiments and what kind of stock actually we can invest. But beforehand, as you can see that this is the titles that we're going to share, is about the psychology management in stock investing and trading. And for information that you can see now, actually I'm in this office already, and just let me know where you actually come from, where you're actually from, and just maybe I just do a quick shout out. Garrett Tans, hi, welcome. So now I see you, right? Yeah. So what we're going to share is actually when we invest in stock markets, right? So if we get trapped, do you ever have this kind of scenario whereby after you invest in the stock, then it's probably in the 10 ringgits or even $20, and just after the incidents or news actually announced, and your stock actually plunged drastically to perhaps like remain in $6 or even remained in nearly ringgit, about 6 ringgit. So you don't know what to react, am I right? So if those people who have this kind of scenario, then you should actually focus on what I'm going to share with you later. So from the psychology management part, let's say, oh hi CK1, hi honey. So I would like to actually share a little bit to highlight to you my teammates, and you can take a look at this. They are very hardworking here before I get started. So they actually is working very hard on about this market sentiments and what is going to happen and what should they prepare for it. Alright, so just come back. So what should we do actually when we come to psychology management in stock investing and trading? Number one rule is actually we have to understand what is our trading game plan. Do you agree with that? Because if we today invest into the stock market, or even be it we trade forex, or even we do commodity trading or futures trading, and just after that we get into the stock, and after we trade so-called index sell, and suddenly it plunge, then we will get in, we have a few factors happen, which is we're very worried about that. So how we're going to overcome that is, number one rules is we must have a very good trading game plan, and this is rule number one. Okay, so the trading game plan and investing game plan itself, right, actually is very different. So investing game plan is long-term basis. If today we invest in the stock market, and in the maybe in the long terms, like mid to long terms, how much return that we actually want it. So this is actually number one things we really need to understand first, and before we actually work out for the trading game plan and investing game plan. Well, this is the rule number one. And what's about the rule number two is actually the macroeconomics perspective. In Chinese, we actually call it 宏观经济, all right? So that means, right, after, like recently, maybe I just take one of the example, the 1MDB's case, that we actually understand that there is some incidents actually happens from US is wanted to open up this so-called FAR and just do some research on that, you know, in our Malaysia's case. So I don't want to touch so much here because I'm not talking about politics things. I'm just talking about my own sharing about what is the market actually is will be heading to. Well, so from here itself, right, if we see this kind of incidents, what should we react? Then this number one is actually the macroeconomy perspective. We really need to be careful, because sometimes, right, when we already plan that we want to invest into those stocks, and suddenly he actually go to another way, like example like what I say just now, from $10 drop drastically to almost $6. So what should we actually react is we have to take a look what is actually happening into this macroeconomic perspective. There are literally many factors that you will actually affect the macroeconomy itself. So right now, as we see, is whether it actually will have a long-term impact or a short-term impact. To me, I'm not really actually worried about that, because as we know that this OBR rate, overnight policy rate, already has cut it into 25 basis point, and it's about 3% itself, right? So in my point of view is, in the long run, they're still quite healthy in Malaysian markets. It's just like a little bit of worry into this political issue. Well, hi, maybe all of you who just joined, maybe just let me know where are you actually joining, in where, then just maybe you are from KL, or whether you are from JB, I just do a quick shout out. Hi Gentek, I saw you. Chiwell, okay, Chevelle, Frankie, Tong, hi. Hi, happy to see you guys again. So just now we talk about the psychology management in stock investing and trading. So number one rules is actually we must have a trading game plan, right? Or investing game plan. And number two, we need to understand what is the macro economy perspective, how we actually move around. And number three is actually we need to understand about the stock that we already investors. What is actually the fundamental? The fundamental is actually we call the company itself, whether it's actually healthy into their company so-called fundamental way. So fundamental is many ways actually. If we really go through the financial report itself, right, we can see a company perhaps into this balance sheet, or even we can take a look from this income statement, and we can actually take a look for this cash flow itself. So this is actually the things that we really have to pay attention to. So in my point of view, if one company's right is really have a very good fundamental itself, no matter in ROE, PE, or be it actually into their VBTS, which is I use VBTS 1, 2, 3, the real value itself, then it's fine. Then we don't need to really worry about that. Then how about number 3? The last one, sorry, number 4, so is the technical analysis. So what is the technical analysis itself? Technical analysis is actually about how we're going to take a look on this chart pattern, or even we talk about the indicators or in the candles itself. This is all about technical analysis. So if we are actually saw that this technical perspective, right, is in our favor and it's telling us that the market is moved in our favor, then we don't really actually need to worry about that. You know why? Because in the long run, it will come back. So this is what I would like to share with you about psychology management part. Because a lot of people, when they get into the stock and suddenly the stock plunge, and they get worried. So they don't know what to react because they did not understand the real factors that actually affect those stock or the market actually drop down, okay, or plunge. So just now I mentioned there's we do some short recap itself. So number one, we talk about psychology management is we must have a trading game plan, or even we have a investing game plan. So number 2 is we talk about macroeconomy itself. And number 3, we talk about this company fundamental perspective. And last but not least, we talk about the technical itself, right? So I hope that this movie, it's not a video or whatever. So I just do a quick video short up, you know, like before I actually start my presentations today. And I hope this video actually is give you some value, okay, and is we give some insight and what should we do in the upcoming so-called in our stock investing or trading journey, and when we face some problem in our psychology part, and how are we going to manage it. Okay, so all right, so I think my videos will end here, and I saw Ryan and so Chu Kwang. All right, thank you for joining. So I see you guys again in the upcoming next video. I'll share with you more about how we're going to invest in stock market and trading itself. Okay, thank you so much for watching. Thank you.